There's a church in the valley by the wildwood, no lovelier place in the dale. No spot is so dear to my childhood as the little brown church in the vale.
Good afternoon. Again, for those that didn't hear, we were expecting Reverend Eric Doyle today, and he had another family obligation that came up last minute, and he couldn't be here. And he called me this morning in quite a quandary, saying, I don't know what to do, because now I've got my family obligation, and I've got my church obligation, and I'm not one to shirk obligations, but which do you pick? And I said to him, Eric, be with your family. Family comes first. And even though he's not here today and he sends his apologies, I thought it brought up a really good issue because I've seen it a lot this week as well. This was just another validation for the message that comes through. I get messages all the time from people saying, I can't be here this Sunday. This has come up or that has come up, or car troubles or family issues, or something's happened or I have to work. And I'll say to them, don't stress about it. I don't want anyone to feel that this is the kind of a place where if you are not here on a Sunday, that people are judging you, saying, well, they couldn't overcome that, they couldn't find a way. It's not about that. Because really, God is with you wherever you are. So if you're with your family, what better way to honor God than being present with your family, with enjoying their company and spreading that love and the compassion and saying, I am here for you, holding space for you, the same way that we expect God to be here present, holding space for us. I would rather that you did that than you sit here in a pew thinking, they're probably upset with me right now. When are we going to be out of here? I've got to go and meet them. And I don't want this to be an obligation. This shouldn't be something that we feel we have to do. And I know not a lot of churches will say that. You have to be there every Sunday. This is not that kind of church. God is with you wherever you are, whatever you are doing. And if you can bring that presence with you, and be present in that moment, then you are embodying God in that moment. And that is far more important than sitting here putting in time. No matter how brilliant my speech may be that day, far better that you are serving some better purpose for yourself or for your own spiritual forwarding, if you will. By the same token, when you are with your family, when you are bonding with the people that you love, and as I talked about last week, honoring the people that you love and you cherish in your life, part of that comes down to you as well, honoring and cherishing yourself. And so there are times when you have to say to work, I'm with my family this weekend. I'm not coming in. I have things that I need to do with them. I've got PTO, or I've got to take my child to her horse riding lesson, or to my son to soccer, whatever the case may be. And you have to say, I'm setting boundaries with you. This is not part of my agreement with you to be able to do that. And that's fine. No one should feel guilty for having to do that. I have friends who share their stories with me all the time about taking their daughter to a horse riding camp. And she leaves and she smiles ear to ear. And this is a child who is normally very withdrawn, has been bullied, and is very lacking in self-esteem. So to see that moment with her, where she is shining and she's truly in her element, I would say to her, it is worth missing 1,000 meetings to have that one moment with her, and to be present, to witness that. To see your child score the winning goal or the winning touchdown or whatever it is in that game means so much to them, and you won't have that opportunity again. So certainly I'm not advocating, blow off all of your responsibilities, don't go to work. We have bills to pay, and I understand that. But there comes a point in time where your sanity and your family's cohesiveness needs your attention more than that report or that deadline. And at the end of the day, if you were to fall off the earth tomorrow, your job would probably find somebody to replace you. They could train somebody else to fill your seat, to learn your job, to push that paperwork. But your family would not find another you to fill that void that you filled in that moment. To sit at the table with them, to go over their homework with them, to hold their hands in the evening and say, I love you and I cherish you. That you can't get back. It has to be a balance. We need money to live, etc. But there are times when we feel the pull from friends, colleagues, work. I need you right now, drop everything, I need this done. And it is perfectly okay to say, I'm sorry, actually I'm not, I can't do that for you. I am in the middle of something. I am busy with my family. I am busy taking care of myself. Because those things tend to get pushed to the back burner when the money-making things take priority. Well, I'll go with the family next weekend. Well, I can't go camping with them this year. They'll be next year. They'll be a year older next year. And who's to say something doesn't happen between now and then? Tomorrow is never a guarantee, and people age and move on in life. You never have that particular moment back again. That report won't make a difference in your life long term, but that camping trip might have made a huge difference in that person's life that you would go with. Even not special occasions, just sitting at home, drinking coffee with your loved one, watching the leaves change. That moment of beauty and perfection when you realize that the color is magnificent and the coffee tastes amazing and the company you're with is just so wonderful and touching. These are the moments, these are the small milestones that make up our lives and make the difference between an extraordinary life and an ordinary life, where we get up every day, we go to work, we come home, we eat dinner, we go to bed, we do it all over again. It's taking time to stop and notice those special things, which may not seem particularly special until you stop and notice them. And so for all of you, I give you permission today to say, tell your loved ones that you love them, spend time with them and be present with them. Listen when they talk. Even if it seems like it's nonsense, even if it seems like they're in a world of their own, it helps them, and it's holding space for them where they are in that moment, to step out of yourself. Also, you have permission to tell people, no, I'm sorry, I'm just not available right now, maybe some other time. Couldn't you find someone else to do that? I have things I need to get done for my family or for myself. Because you can't be present for your family if you're not present, period. We all need that small reprieve, that 5 minutes a day just to breathe or to meditate or to notice the sunset or to have that cup of coffee in complete silence, please. Whatever it may be for you. We are all entitled to that. Because starting your day hectic and running, getting and doing for everyone else and pushing your family to the side so you can get all those things done at the end of the day, it really doesn't feel like you've accomplished anything because you're going to start it all again tomorrow. But that few seconds with your child or your pet or your husband or your wife or your best friend to stop and connect with them and say, yes, well, I was busy with something, but I see you're having a crisis, I can listen. That is your opportunity to decide where your boundaries are and where you want to be present. For the people who don't give to you, don't spend a lot of time worrying for them. Now, Eric called me this morning and said that he couldn't be here today. And I could have flipped out, oh my God, what are we gonna do? We have to find someone to give the lecture. And I just rolled it and I said, well, it will be what it is. And I'm glad that he is with his family being present and giving us this opportunity to talk about it. So really, in a way, he is delivering the lecture today, he just doesn't know it yet. Good job, Eric. We all have these opportunities to decide when these things happen. Okay, is this something I really need to do, or is this something I'm prioritizing over what I was doing? And again, come back to your own heart and say, what does my heart say about this? Should I be spending time with my family, or even things that you don't want to be doing, like preparing your budget for the year or going over your bank account, which is no fun whatsoever. But when people stop you and say, hey, I need you to look something up for me. Hey, you want to go out and see a movie or something? It's up to you to decide, do I want to spend time and be present with that person? Or is that person not someone who fills me and who I don't have that relationship, and this is really more important for me right now? It comes down to discernment that you don't have to pick up every pull, every direction that you get yanked in. You don't have to be moved by that. You get to decide, do I need to do this for me, or do I need to be present for you? Which really is more important in the long run? Because as I always say, there's never going to be anything on your gravestone saying, I wish I had worked more. I'm starting more and more as I get older in life to see that some of the profitable things that we do, while necessary, really have to be contained with boundaries. Because so often we put that at the top of our list to pay bills with. But at the end of the day, I don't want to be working as a slave to pay bills, living in a house that I will then work to, cripple myself to pay for the house that I'm living in every day. It becomes this vicious circle. I would rather be present for my husband and play with my dogs and be there with my stepsons. Go visit my mother-in-law and see my mother. Do I have to work? Of course I do. We all have bills to pay. But I've said as I get older, I'm setting boundaries. I don't want to work weekends. I'm not interested in working evenings. And maybe I have the luxury of saying that at this point in my life. But we need to make those boundaries and those decisions in other areas of our lives as well. For the people who are toxic or who are takers or who only feed the drama in our lives, to say, you know what, I have people I need to be present for who need me, not who want me. I have people that I can be present with where we can feed each other and come out of it in a very positive way, and I will feel like I have accomplished something versus pandering to your demands. Those people who take from you and take from you and take from you. It's okay to set those boundaries and say, I'm with me today. I'm being present for me. I have things that I need to do uninterrupted. Or I'm being present with my animals today. Or I'm being present with my family today. Again, it's all about honoring, kind of tapping into last week. But it brings up the importance of family and the things that go on. So in the future, if you can't be here, just call me and say, hey, I've got a family obligation. I'll say, hey, that's perfectly okay then. You have a free out any week you want. Because I do feel like family is very important. And we grow and we change so quickly, and the moments pass, and you can't get them back. But the same is true for yourself. The person you are today is not the person you will be tomorrow, and that opportunity you had today to take a bubble bath or to sit and meditate for a moment or just to turn the phone off and say, I just need some quiet. You don't get that time back either. And how much of your life has been spent answering people you didn't want to talk to in the first place, dealing with issues you didn't want to deal with in the first place, and then you say, well, my hour is gone. That time that I would have had is now past. Schedule yourself in the way that you schedule your family in. And if you aren't, start. Schedule your family in, schedule yourself in. This is my time. I don't want to be disturbed. Obviously, balance. Within reality. You can't tell the children, just don't ever talk to me again, I'm busy. That's not going to work so well. But it is important to take time for yourself, and it is important to take time for your family and your loved ones, and to understand that it shouldn't be held against you. It shouldn't be something you have to feel guilty for. I've always wondered when I see people at work and they say, well, I've already used up my sick time, but I've got 2 kids, one was sick all last week, now the other one is sick this week. What do I do? And they have to choose between having money to pay the bills or leaving that child at home sick by himself. And I hope that someday we live in a world where companies will realize that family does come first. There's nothing that you can do. If you have multiple children, you're going to have multiple illnesses, not including your own, not including your parents, that need to be taken care of. And that starts with us. That starts with us deciding that family is important. That's us telling our children family's more important. Family comes first. I'm sorry if you can't go to Jimmy's for a sleepover tonight, but we'd already planned this family thing, and family comes first. It's a lesson that they can learn and grow with, so when they get into the workplace, they can say, I find this untenable. 3 sick days a year, and I've got 2 kids. There's no way I'm only going to be out 3 days this year. That's just not possible. It would have to be a miracle. So we set the example. Family first. So I hope that when you all leave here today, you're all going to call or join your family, or at least be present in the moment in whatever you're doing, and bring that Spirit of God in with you. Because again, God is not sitting in the church going, it's 1 o'clock, where is everybody? God is with all of you wherever you go and whatever you do. So I invite you to bring that presence in with you, to be present in what it is that you're doing, and what you're enjoying, and what you're noticing, and to make an extraordinary life rather than just an ordinary life. Thank you.